everyone, I'm Sam. I'm the playbook teams at RevPartners, and until now we have been discussing about the Marketo to HubSpot migration. This is the last part of this series. Highly recommend that you view that and get an idea what we have been discussing and how to wrap up once you have done building all those assets, and then gone you need to go live. So what factors needs to be taken in consideration before just pushing that final button? Pushing the final button can be a little bit anxious. It's a huge responsibility. You are shutting down one system, going live with the other system. The team may not be trained on that, but yes, these are the things which you need to be considered beforehand, so that when you are approaching that, you can approach that in that way, a structured way, and doesn't make mistakes and you can learn from my mistakes. So let's see some of the steps involved in it. I'll share my screen. Here's the thing. Now over here, obviously with going live, there's two things, which is go live and then decide the cutover plan, which is this is the date which I want to cut over, and which is basically everything will be stopped inside the Marketo and everything will be live inside HubSpot. Or maybe you can do it in my phased approach. Maybe 30% of my process will shut down from Marketo, and then all of that would be live inside HubSpot. The way to do that is these are the certain forms from where I receive this percent of the traffic. So let's turn that live inside HubSpot, and then this much of that let's be live that via in HubSpot, via in Marketo only. So you will have a normal functionality. But again, those couple of approach have pros and cons. Obviously, the later is suggested more, which is doing a drastic cutover and then everything having live inside HubSpot. So you don't have to do an import export every time, and you don't have to deal with managing a couple of platforms. So here's the thing, with go live plan, there are certain aspects which needed to be considered. Is obviously those are the basics. When you set up your marketing hub, if you have done with the landing pages, publish them live. If you have done with the HubSpot, you need to embed that inside an HubSpot forms within your website. Make sure to track that tracking code in your website tracking code. And if you have marketing emails, make sure to publish that inside a marketing emails. Check everything, your personalization tokens aspect and everything, and make sure to update that based on HubSpot wanting it to do. Make sure to update your email structure, header, footers, and all those things. And then let's suppose if you have a workflows, make sure to turn that on. Now you might be aware of the workflows. So workflows has this thing with regarding enrollment and enrollment settings. So consider that. So I have every step listed out, and every step I assign that as per. So if I am trying to do a tracking code, who will do that? If my partner team is going to do that, is my technical team going to do that, or would it be I will be doing that? So I can create a checklist, and with in every checklist or categorize those process, and I can assign these metrics to that. So maybe if you want you can follow that structured approach. And then once you have done that, obviously one of the major things with regards to that is considering the export import plan. So obviously the export import plan should be consider reaching near to the cutover plan, because that is when you can extract all that data, which is historical data which is coming, and then import that back, so you don't have to do that multiple times. So that's that. And then the major and the challenging part, which is conducting a training of this particular platform, because again it's a huge change. It's not one platform change, is a huge process change and those related changes. So consider that and conduct in training. Here's how I can approach it. So this may look if you are in HubSpot, if you're using HubSpot for a while, you might think, okay, do we really need to go into these details? But yes, I would recommend let's go into each details, because it's very overwhelming when you're coming from this particular different platform to this platform. So here's how I would start, because I would start with in managing the HubSpot campaigns, because that is the way they are used to inside Marketo. They manage programs. So maybe start via that in HubSpot, have the HubSpot campaigns. You can show them how to create, how to update that, and how to add related assets to the marketing campaigns. And then maybe start with in all those managing marketing assets. So again, the reason why we are approaching this way is mainly because they're coming from a marketing platform, and this is way they can manage multiple things. So moving with an active list, what's an active list and static list, and those kind of things. So those are a basics of in trainings, which kind of needed to be considered. So again, just going live, you need to consider some of the checklist items which I can cover. Then if you are doing the training, make sure to keep in mind your target audience, because they are particularly trained in the marketing in that way, and then training that via that way to the HubSpot. And then the last thing is obviously the cutover plan. So cutover plan can be overwhelming, but again, if you have all these things covered, you have a date in mind, it should be smooth enough for you, because you have in confidence. We perform the scenario testing, we did every testing, and then we can follow the structured approach. So you should have in confidence to approach that cutover.
Spider.